What's up, guys? Hey, a couple months ago, I had posted a video where I made a few $1,000s selling domain names in a very short amount of time. We're talking hours, and then after a couple days, I sold a couple more of them, whatnot. And the video got, the kind of reaction where it's like, wow, that's too good to be true. I wanted to go over exactly how I was able to do it in a little bit more detail than, of course, that video. Counter some of the skepticism. And I think, by the end of the video, I think you're gonna be illuminated, you're gonna be educated as to how you could do the same. Now, the way I was able to sell those domains and make a few $1,000s that quickly was with this AI software that we created. When AI came out, ChatGPT, etc., everybody was so excited. Immediately, we said to ourselves, oh my God, let's use this technology, because I'm more of a creative type of guy. I'm not really a marketing guy or an AI guy. But of course, with the creative and the right brain firing off all the time, you know how I go, kind of like I'm really good at doing prompts. So I was pretty good at AI. Then I learned about APIs and how you could create software using that technology. So that's exactly what we did. So it took about 8 months, but once we were done with it, we tried it out. Now, what happens, and the way that the software worked, was it scoured the web, and then it cross-referenced the results with AI, finding the very, very best domain names. So what's gonna happen? Up front, according to appraisal, you're gonna see the very, very best domains at the top. But after you hand it out to all your students, here we are, almost a year later. It's not the way it was. I just started using that software. I hadn't handed it out to anyone. And so I found one word, 5-syllable, but one word, 4 or 5-syllable domain names. I scooped them up, I listed them for sale with Afternic, and then I used the marketplace for a little bit of eyeballs. All right, if you just scoop them up, good luck trying to sell them. You gotta get a little bit of eyeballs on your listing. And this is something I'm always teaching people. People think just by watching that video that you're gonna be able to sell domain names without advertising them or without getting eyeballs on them just from Afternic. Yeah, it happens. But if you want to do it really quickly, you don't need to use our marketplace. This video isn't supposed to be a plug, or I'm not supposed to be selling that software to you in this video. But a lot of things have come to mind since that video was published. It's just important to think this way. So again, the process was you find the domain, you list it for sale within your GoDaddy account. It gets listed on Afternic. You take that listing, what I did was put it in our marketplace in front of a few hundred hungry buyers. So of course, if you have domain names like, for example, musicproduction.com. That's an actual keyword that people are searching. Now, I'm not talking appraisals anymore. Remember, we want to get away from that because it's more of comparable sales are a great way to appraise the domain. And so therefore, I was able to sell those domains really quickly. But here's the thing, I handed it off to my students, and here we are 8 months later, all the good names are gone. This is why this video is great, because that software, the Prime Domain software, incredibly awesome, and I'll explain how to use it now. You have to use it a little differently now than we did those first, it was really a first few weeks. It was difficult to get people to actually use it. So many people love to consume, they love to learn, so I'd go into the webinars, I would yell at people, I'd be like, why are there still good domain names here? The ones that I got were so freaking good. I don't think anyone has gotten as good domains. People in the Facebook group, you see people selling domains all over the place using Prime Domains, right? But those domains I got. I just wanted to be clear, because I'm always honest and transparent with you guys. I'm about ready to kind of redo the video. I don't want there to be any confusion. The domains in the first week or so were freaking insane. So it's funny that me and my students have kind of bought out all the good domains on the freaking planet, okay? We're talking hundreds of domains that we were able to find like needles in haystacks. It would be like, you walk up to the haystack where there's a couple hundred needles in there, and you walk up with a giant metal detector. That's what the software was like. So here's how to use it now and make the best of it. And it's universal advice even if you're not using a software. I had a friend, he just sold his popcorn, not actually my friend, but it's a friend of a friend, sold his popcorn company for $750 million. Now, his brand name is exactly that. It's a brand name. So by itself, it wouldn't be worth any money at all. It solely has to do with how much revenue they're making. And that's how it goes when you sell a site, starter site or an established site. Here's how you want to think about things. You get the happy medium type of domain that could also be a brand name. Like, the musicproduction.com was a great example. And so when you have a domain like that, that could also be a company, it could be a brand name, but it's also a keyword that people are searching. When you go to sell that, and that's why a marketplace is a great idea, or flippa.com, it's all about the description that you use illustrating what you can do with the domain name. Sure, the comparable sales, recent sales of domains that are very similar to yours, like for instance, somethingelsproduction.com sold for 20 grand, or musicplayer.com sold for 30 grand. Musicproduction.com is now gonna have a better value because of those other sales. Do you see what I'm saying? If you have a 2-word domain, you find other domains that have one of those 2 words in them that recently sold, you use that as your appraisal. I'm telling you guys, this is the best domaining advice ever. So then, in your description on the marketplace, you explain exactly what you could do with the domain name. And it illustrates, I mean, think about it, what you're doing is an incredible service for folks so that you can save them time. Time is so important to people, you know, and that's why bottled water companies are evaluated, you know, in the billions of dollars. That's why, you know, you get my drift, okay? But also another great example with this new AI rush, you have to think for yourself. Even with a Tesla that drives itself, the autonomous cars, you don't buy an autonomous car because I don't want to touch a steering wheel ever again. I'm that lazy. I don't want to, you know what I mean? It's going to help you out in certain situations, like with navigation, like if you're unsure of where to go or something like that. It still has a gas pedal. I mean, well, acceleration pedal. And then it has a steering wheel. So you have to use that steering wheel no matter what you're doing. I want you guys not lose sight of the importance of you being a leader and you steering the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Even if AI is doing everything for us, because the only people who are going to survive this new AI rush, everyone, you know, the AI taking everyone's jobs, are people who have that mindset, people who have positioned themselves as leaders, and they're going to be directing all of the AI, you know, employees or whoever it is. That's just how it is. The 1% versus the 99%. You know, I didn't want to get political or anything. You know, of course, this channel is dedicated to domain names, entrepreneurship. I've got a couple more videos coming for you guys. I really am excited to share with you because I'm gonna list every freaking domain name that I've bought, that I've developed, and turned it into revenue. And so that's an entirely different story. But I felt I owed it to you guys. Regarding that video, it was really quite incredible. You know, I posted those domains on my marketplace. That's another thing. I get a lot of questions about pricing. You know, the types of domains that we can find that are available for $10, $20, you know, available domains or expired domains. If you want to sell expired domains right off the bat real quick, price them at $100, $200, because you know, next day you're gonna have plenty of new expired domain names. But yeah, that's the whole thing, guys, is like anywhere from $100 on up to $2,000. Those are the types of domains that we are able to find available. Now there's plenty of domains that might be worth $700,000 or something. Purchase some of those for $100,000 or $200,000 or something like that. And then as soon as you know, even with a $10 domain name, if you develop on it and you create a brand, sky's the limit, my friends. All right, so this is Jamie Lewis. I just wanted to drop some, you know, clarification on that video. It's a freaking cool video. Make sure to watch it. They're actual sales. I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Make sure to jump into the comments and like and subscribe and all that good stuff. All right, so I'll see you soon.